think we could start with the millennials, maybe. I know a lot of them. They tend to, the impressive people I've worked with, tend to prioritize purpose and meaning over, their salary or maybe even the responsibilities, that they're more interested in the interesting work, the meaningful work, the purposeful work. I think that's the trend that we see over and over. I think that group could also do a little bit more to appreciate the pressure that the corporations and the companies are under to generate profit, to keep things going. I think that it could be that perhaps they're prioritizing their career over the corporation. And that makes sense. I think we all do that. But it shouldn't be at the expense of the corporation. So there are just some fundamentals around profitability and shareholder value that are massive priorities for businesses. And I think that a lot of our younger workforce might not appreciate those pressures as much as their seniors do, because they've been feeling those pressures for decades. That's how they think about their work, responding to those pressures. But I think the bigger concern is how the companies and the corporations, how ready they are for a new generation, the millennial generation. Resources spent on developing your own people are almost always well spent. We don't know exactly the impact of our interventions when we develop our employees, but the more we include our own people, our own employees in the development of the company, the more their commitment to the company grows. A lot of organizations worry that they will train their people and then their people will leave and use them for the training. And that is maybe a legitimate concern, but I don't know that it will generate an exodus. I think it will probably, and we've seen this, it will generate more of a loyalty and a commitment to the organization. So in terms of balance, a lot of money is spent understanding the marketplace, but could we, balance those resources and spend a little bit more on developing our own people, and not just sending them outside, but inviting them into the organization's challenges, really including them in the coal face or the tip of the spear in that organization's work, really sort of inviting them into the discussion around what's next for the organization. That's where you're going to find the balance. That's where people are going to find meaning and purpose connected to their organization. They're going to feel included and acknowledged. I think when people leave organizations, it's because they feel devalued and they don't feel acknowledged. And a very important, a very powerful way to help people feel valued and acknowledged is to include them in the challenges of the organization. Now, maybe you can't include them in all of the CEO's, dilemmas that she's facing, but you can pick some that can become public conversations within the organization. And not only will people feel included, but the organization will learn a lot, because its employees are in all sorts of different units. They have valuable perspectives on the challenges of the organization, and the companies miss them. A lot of companies don't understand all the intelligence that's already in its walls. So creating opportunities where people can share their perspective on the organization's challenge, I think you get a wonderful balance of training and development for your people and information and insights about the company's challenges. If you actually think your marketplace and your business and your clients, and if you think these things are solid and certain, you're making a big mistake. So I think the mistake companies make is they wait for the uncertainty to be overwhelming instead of looking for it. Companies should be always looking for the uncertainty. What is it that we might not understand tomorrow? That's a way to stay ahead of the uncertainty, but sometimes you can't predict it all. So when you encounter uncertain situations, those are the learning opportunities. And that's how a company learns and grows, especially as things get more and more competitive and there's more and more platforms and businesses are disrupting at a more rapid pace. The uncertainty is where the learning is. And an organization that stops learning is in trouble. How to be in charge of an organization during uncertain times is very difficult. How to say, we've got this, but we don't know what's next. We need your help. That is one of the toughest challenges for an executive or a director or a manager, to say, here's what we don't understand, and here's what we're going to do, and I think we're going to be fine. It's such a difficult thing. When uncertainty spikes, most people become defiant and more certain. This is what we're going to do, and then this, and we need everyone on board. And that's when uncertainty really can cripple an organization. When the directors and the executives inside try to meet it with a stoic resistance, that is the opposite of learning. That is pretending to know. And when we pretend to know things, we get ourselves in trouble, we get our companies in trouble.